Hi, this is Dr. Pechenik. Today I want to talk about what I've been saying for several years, and that is that our military is eventually taking over our civilian government. That sounds horrible, but it really isn't. Let me give you an example. For some time now, Mattis has been displeased with his civilian advisors. 9 of them have just left, including his right-hand woman, Sally Donnelly. And instead, he's brought on board 2 admirals to advise him. And then he's appointed the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Dunford. In turn, he's appointed and allowed Pompeo, who was also a military officer and went to West Point and is now our Secretary of State, he's allowed him to appoint one of our ex-generals, and that is General Abizaid, who speaks Arabic. He's a Christian Lebanese, but he went to Jordan and then went on to Harvard to study Arabic and to do his thesis on Saudi Arabia. So now we have Nakasone in Cyber Command, we have Mattis, we have Pompeo, we have Abizaid, we have Dunford, we have 2 more admirals, and guess what? We're going to have more and more military. Our governor of Florida was a military officer, DeSantis. And now I'm going to explain to you why we need the military. It isn't going to be a coup as much as it is the opposite of what we had with civilian command. Civilian command under Clinton, Bush, and Cheney was just disastrous. We had 9/11 based on false intelligence. We had a war from 2 cowards who were treasonous, Cheney and Bush Jr. Both were cowardly, both initiated a war to Iraq, both did it on the basis of false intelligence. And unfortunately, John Bolton was part of it, so was Richard Pearl, Wolfowitz, and all the neocons. One of the other neocons who was just thrown out is McCardle, a woman who was Croatian background, who was thrown out by Melania Trump, who said, "I don't want this woman." And this woman, in fact, was the Deputy National Security Advisor to John Bolton. And this individual, Myra, was dissing or saying negative things about General Mattis. And eventually, we got rid of her. So what's the situation right now? We have a state of alertness where we have individuals who think strategically and implement on a tactical level. Most civilians who are trained in national security are really not all that good. I speak from experience, having been both in the military and in intelligence and in the medical field. I can tell you that I have been singularly unimpressed by most of the civilians who reach either the intelligence corps or they reach the State Department. And the reason for that is that they really haven't been through emergencies like a physician in the ER or like a commander in a battle where you have to immediately think about what's happening, how do you react, and how do you maintain cohesion among your troops. That kind of situation is important in running our national security and our domestic security. Ironically, Trump, who did not serve in the Vietnam War, however, is now serving as president as payment for not having served in Vietnam, was trained at the New York Military Academy and became one of the chief officers in that school. So he was trained by military officers. He understands the military way of life, and he appreciates. He also understands that civilians have much greater leeway to create mistakes and to blame it on someone else. In fact, in the military, that's very hard to do. Command and control is a very important part of our element, and so is accountability. Therefore, from my point of view, I see the evolution of our military veterans coming into the Congress, coming the executive branch, and the local branch of government as a very important evolution in the American Republic. Let me quote to you a President, Woodrow Wilson, who said the following: "Our military always has to be under civilian command." Now, unfortunately, Woodrow Wilson was in a state of coma for a year and a half, so he was not in command. The person who was in command, listen carefully, was a gentleman by the name of Colonel Howze, House. On that note, I say good luck and good night.